Part 3. The Flood Continued. Genesis 1:2. The earth was without form and void, and darkness was on the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God was hovering over the face of the waters. The scriptures say the Spirit of God was hovering over the face of the waters. It didn't say the Spirit of God was hovering over the dry land. It wasn't until Genesis 1:9 that the dry land appeared. At that time, the entire earth was covered with water to the tops of the mountains. The earth was covered with water in the beginning and covered again by the flood. In Genesis 1:6, then God said, "Let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters," and it divided the waters from the waters. Now the waters that covered the earth had a depth of many miles. Then God said, "Let there be a firmament, which is an expanse of sky in the middle of the waters." The waters were lifted up from the earth, encasing the earth in a layer of water many miles deep. In Genesis 1:7, thus God made the firmament and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament. And it was so. Those misinterpreting scriptures believe the waters above the firmament are the clouds. This isn't true, as you'll see in the following verses. In Genesis 7:11, in the 600th year of Noah's life, in the 2nd month, the 17th day of the month, on that day all the fountains of the great deep were broken up, and the windows of heaven were opened. Scientists say there wasn't enough water to cover the entire earth to the tops of the mountains. But they didn't account for the approximately 5.5 miles of water which were being held above the firmament. The windows of heaven that were opened are the windows that held back the waters from above the firmament. Remember, in the beginning, the earth was completely covered with water to the tops of the mountains. Then God separated the waters which were above the firmament, which was a depth of approximately 5.5 miles, which is the approximate height of Mount Everest. There are a number of cities which have been discovered below sea level, which are dwellings of those who inhabited the earth before the flood. In Genesis 1:9, then God said, "Let the waters under the heaven be gathered together into one place, and let the dry land appear." And it was so. Let the waters under the heavens be gathered together into one place. As scientists say, this was 3.3 billion years ago. Earth's first continents, known as the cratons, emerged from the oceans. This happened at the same time that God said in Genesis 1:9, "Let the waters under the heavens be gathered together into one place," and the dry land appeared. According to scientists, the first continents rose up out of the oceans, letting the dry land appear, as it says in Genesis 1:9. When the flood had ended, the waters started to decrease. But where did the waters go? The continents that rose up out of the oceans left a huge void in the earth which swallowed up the waters. In Genesis 8:5, and the waters decreased continually until the 10th month. The 10th month, on the first day of the month, the tops of the mountains were seen. It wasn't until the waters started to decrease that the tops of the mountains were seen. Again, scientists say there wasn't enough water. But what scientists don't know could fill up the earth to the tops of the mountains.